I'm here today with WA's very own Matt Stone, who's finally gotten across to WA to visit us. Welcome, Matt. Today we're cooking with beef. And beef, as we know, is so versatile. From eye fillet to Scotch fillet to porterhouse. There's so many different cuts to explore, and WA's very own Harvey Beef is known as producing some of the best in the state. We're going to show you today something really easy that you can cook at home for your family with one of, in my opinion, the world's best. What are we cooking here today?
G'day, thanks for having me. So we're cooking with the Harvey Beef. So we're going to do a roasted tenderloin of beef with a kind of sauce Diane.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. So what's the first step?
So we've got the tenderloin of beef here. So this could be any cut. It could be a Scotch fillet, it could be a sirloin, it could be individual pieces, but I really love to roast it as a whole piece, get a lovely caramelisation, and then carve a nice slice. So it's kind of a bit of a Sunday roast vibe as well. All I've really trimmed off is the sinew on the top, and I've left all that fat underneath. So we're just going to season it really, really well. Like, it's quite a lot of meat here, so it might look like a lot of salt and pepper we're putting on, but it'll help to create a crust, and as it roasts, it'll sort of permeate through.
And this is more of a family serve as well, so you could just divide this by two, essentially.
Absolutely, yeah. So this will serve 4 comfortably. And so I'm just going to add some oil now. I'm not going to pour too much oil into the pan. I'm going to dress the piece of meat with the oil, and that way all of that seasoning will distribute really nicely. So when it cooks and heats, it'll kind of keep the heat nice and even around it. So you get your hands in there, roll it around, make sure we get a bit of that oil and seasoning all over. So we're just going to go straight into this heavy base pan. That's going to sort of just start to caramelise away. We want to create a really beautiful crust around the whole piece of meat. So we've just got it on a sort of medium to high heat. You can see it's starting to fry away now. Already. And we're actually going to make the sauce in this pan as well. So all of that sort of caramelisation that's left in the pan will come off and flavour our sauce as well.
Fantastic.
Alrighty, so we've got a really nice caramelisation happening here. It's really nice and getting that really beautiful crust. So we'll just turn it to the next side. So we'll just turn it, we'll probably give it all the sides a nice go. And then it's not going to take that long in the oven. I'm going to serve it quite rare. So it might only be 8 minutes and then a nice rest, but we'll see how we go.
All right.
So I've just chucked a generous chunk of butter in there. We're just going to melt that, and that's going to sort of get flavoured from all of that sort of juice from the beef. The oil that came off the beef is really flavoured as well. Just got some diced up shallots. I've used a whole head of garlic here, so we'll just get that in as well. We've got a lovely array of mushrooms here. We've got some king browns, some king oyster, some baby oyster, and some enoki. Just going to have a little squeeze of this beef.
These mushrooms have been sautéing for about 3 minutes now. What's up next?
So we're going to add some orange wine, so some oxidised wine. It has a lovely sort of nutty, flory sort of flavour and a great sort of acidity. Traditionally, a sauce Diane would have Dijon, but I like to use seeded mustard. It's a really nice texture. So add a nice spoon of that. We've got the Worcestershire sauce. A couple of spoons of that. It's also going to give us a sort of a richer colour. And then this is where it gets a bit naughty. We've just got some heavy cream. Also going to add a fair bit of cracked black pepper. So we've just got it on a nice little reduce, and we'll just bring that down a bit more. Check on this beef. And a couple of ways you can test this. You can just give it a little squeeze, and for me that's quite rare right now. It's got that spring to it. So that sauce is bubbling away nicely. We've got a nice little bit of sort of viscosity happening. Bring that down a little bit, and we'll be good to go. Alrighty, so this beef's ready to go, so we'll just carve some beautiful steaks. And so a really easy plate up on this. We're not going to be too fancy at all. Just going to take a beautiful midsection there. And I'm going to leave all of that juice and stuff on there. It's all beautiful flavour. Just give it a slight little season on the inside. Straight out of the pan, straight on top. Some of those mushrooms. Got a bit of that juice coming out of the beef, which is really flavourful. I'll take just a little bit of olive oil at the end just to give it a little bit more fat in there. And there it is. There's our roasted fillet of beef with a kind of sauce Diane.
That looks sensational. Let's have a try.
It is packed full of flavour. The beautiful Harvey beef is just roasted really nicely. For me, that lovely crust on the outside, the nice rare middle, the sort of acidity from that sauce, the richness of the mushroom. It's a pretty well-rounded dish, I feel.
And that beef is so tender and moist. West Australian beef, world class, right around the corner. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure.
So good
and
to
we'll
be
see
here.
you back next season.
Great, look forward to it.